Hello class! Today I will be giving you an overview of the exquisite work created by Toyohara Kunichika titled Spring Outing in a Villa. The contributors to this project are Christine Beam, Alexandra Ferentinos, Rachel Ferentinos, Faith Fraley, and myself, Carson Miller. Before I begin, I would like to touch on some terms that are used in this presentation. A diptych refers to a painting or image created on two separate panels to create a whole image. The Edo period refers to a time of massive economic growth and surge of the arts in Japanese culture. The Meiji period refers to the period where European colonization and rule in Japan shifted to the formation of a self-sufficient nation-state. For some background information on our artist, Toyohara was born on June 29, 1835 in Oshima, Yasuhachi, and died in Tokyo on July 1, 1900. He displayed artistic talent at a young age, and this interest blossomed into a career as he matured. He was known for his woodblock print creations and most notably the women and female forms on these prints. They were rich with color and adorned with opulent garments. His work thrived during the Edo period and seamlessly transitioned into the Meiji period. The reception of his work was largely associated with the way in which Toyohara successfully captured the beauty of women in his prints. The piece was created in 1862 Japan during the Edo period. It is a diptych panel set composed of painted applied to boards. We will first begin with a visual analysis of the left panel of the piece. This panel shows two women chatting amongst a highly ornate room and furniture. The women are dressed in beautiful garb and their hairstyles are affluent and stunning. Fluid human forms interact with the static objects of the scene, adding depth and scale to the piece. Looking at the lavish furniture and furnishing in the panel, one can get a sense of the opulence, glamour, and refinement that was admired during this stylistic period, as seen on the intricate details of the table and the women's garments. The second half of this panel adds more characters to this scene. The panel displays even more intricate details in the clothing, as seen by the patterns of the women's clothes. The women in this piece also demonstrate the trends of fashion in the Edo period. Their hair is ornate, and their skin is painted fair. The folds of the cloth showcase differently patterned fabric within their layers. For example, in the central woman's garb, you can see the leaf and floral patterns turned with the folding of her sleeve as she lightly grips a walled furniture piece. The contrasts in light colors and flower patterns emphasize this springtime piece. The significance of this piece is that it demonstrates the allure of the female form during this stylistic period. The neck and hands were very visually appealing during this time, and especially in the visual arts of Japan. The colors follow a theory of neutral tones with high contrast that adds to the light aesthetic of the overall piece. Additionally, this piece notes the simplicity and appeal of the everyday life of a Japanese woman, such as the personal interactions shared amongst friends and beauty in the garments that they wore and the objects that they surrounded themselves with. Here we have our comparison piece, Kitagawa Utamaro's Snow at Fukagawa hanging scroll made in 1802 Japan Edo period. There are noticeable differences between these pieces. Snow at Fukagawa is made from one panel, and the piece also appears to be an open outside setting as noted by the clouds and the snow-covered trees. The tree also indicates that this must be a winter season. Colors in this piece are very saturated and vibrant, unlike Kunichika's Spring Outing in a Villa. In Kunichika's piece, the setting is much smaller and confined to a room. There is a sense of peeking in rather than the open, overarching perspective in Utamaro's piece. Kunichika also utilized a diptych frame for his canvas. The bright pink blossoms and fans imply a spring or warmer season in contrast to the wintry trees of Utamaro's work. Lastly, colors are very saturated but muted. But Kunichika also utilized gradients to add contrast as seen in the blue to white gradient that makes up the center table. Despite their obvious differences, both art pieces were made in the Edo period and showcase the stylistic representation and ideology of women at the time. Both pieces also emphasize nature and plays on the idea of seasons as a central theme. In addition, the colors in the Spring Outing in a Villa piece are more muted and neutral colors, while the colors in the Snow at Fukagawa piece are more saturated and vibrant. And here's our bibliography. We used Time Present and Time Past, Images of a Forgotten Master, Toyohara Kunichika by Amy Regal Newland for most of our information on this piece. Lastly, we will end our presentation with a discussion prompt. How do you think beauty standards for women have shifted since the creation of this piece? What are some similarities? What about some differences? Thank you for your time. We look forward to reading your responses. For the contributions for this presentation, Christine Beam did slides 8 and 10 and the PowerPoint design. Alexandra Ferentinos made slides 1 through 5 and found the piece of art. Rachel Ferentinos wrote the script for the voiceover. Faith Frilly made slides 6, 7, and 9 and found the comparison art. And I, Carson Miller, recorded the voiceover. Thank you for watching.